biscuits and gravy. Yeah, boy. Man, why?
Good afternoon, fine sir. I do believe I smell biscuits in this house.
Yeah. I made some biscuits. I'm about to make some gravy to go with them.
Well, just take me behind the barn and slap my behind with a big ham hock.
You know there's something wrong with you, right?
Irregardlessly of your opinion, I must respectfully disagree with you, sir.
Okay. Irregardlessly is not a word. You can't put the ear in front of regardless and then add the ly on top of it.
I believe this is an area where we must agree to disagree, sir.
Okay, well, in your own words, irregardlessly, I'm gonna make some gravy. Would you like some?
Sir, I will acquiesce to your request. Allow me to get myself an apron and I shall return post haste.
I will await your return.
Good day, sir.
Why? All right, Colonel. You ready to make some sausage?
I'm ready to make some sausage. What are we doing here? What kind of sausage are we making today?
We're making sausage gravy today because we have some biscuits, and so the idea was, well, what are we going to do with the biscuits? Let's make some gravy. And you see, there's a little bit of oil in here, right?
Which is unusual.
I'm going to show you something. That's some olive oil, right?
Yeah.
The reason for that is we're going to be using this mild Italian sausage.
I love Italian
Now,
sausage.
I believe you've had this way
It's my
before.
favorite
Somehow I know that you have.
Absolutely.
Look, if you've got some breakfast sausage in the fridge or freezer and you're trying to use that, you probably don't need to add the oil. Just kind of heat the pan and you're going to cook the sausage just like that.
Sure.
There's going to be enough fat in there that's rendered out for the next step that we're going to get to, which is adding the flour.
Right.
But this stuff's a little leaner, so we need a little more fat.
Right. So do we got something to bind the flour to where we can make a blonde roux?
We're making a roux.
Yeah.
We're making a sausage roux. Ooh, we can see it's starting to get a little smoky here.
Yeah.
So let's get the sausage in here. You want to do that one?
Yeah,
And I'll open this one. But yeah, look, use the sausage that you like. You like breakfast sausage? Fan-freaking-tastic. Use some breakfast sausage. You like Italian mild? If you like Italian hot, you want to make it a little spicy, go for it,
We were fortunate enough to be out in Seattle for a few years, and we had some neighbors that turned us on to some Italian sausage gravy one morning. And we're like, man, this is absolutely incredible, Tony. And Tony's Italian. And I asked him, I said, this is probably the best Italian sausage I've ever had. And he said, well, my Uncle Joe makes sausage, and for the Verone Sausage Company.
Oh, so they got a sausage company.
Sausage Company.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
So your average
that's
Joe,
the thing, man.
yeah, your average Joe may not use Italian sausage, but the average Joe Verone who makes it does.
You're just browning it. Basically, you want to brown the sausage, and you want to render the fat that's in that sausage. Because when you're making sausage, they're taking the meat and they're mixing it with whatever spices that they're using or vegetables, depending on what sausage you're making.
Yeah.
Right? But they're also grinding with some fat. You need that. That's flavor, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Little fat's a good thing, not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, because you'll end up just having too lean a product, and you're missing a lot of the flavor.
It tastes dry, it tastes crumbly in your mouth, like literally, and it's just not tasty goodness. But yeah, so all we're trying to do right now is just cook it, break it up as it's cooking, and from there we're gonna add. I think we kind of hit on it earlier. We're kind of making a sausage roux. So all a roux is just fat and flour that you cook a little bit in a pan over heat, and you get a thick sort of paste that you can add liquid to that then slowly thickens. And so like in this case we're going to use milk, because that's how you make a like a white
Yeah, a nice creamy breakfast
gravy. But maybe you're trying to do something else, whatever with roux, and you could be it could be like I don't know, a chicken stock or something like that. You want to thicken. It's a thickener.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing with the roux and stuff, the more you cook it, the more flavor the roux has, but the less thickening power it has. I mean, you know what? Half of learning how to cook is screwing up cooking.
Absolutely.
You know, and learning from your mistake. Now, you might notice we didn't talk about like how much oil we put in there.
Didn't. We don't know. I mean, we put enough.
We kind of covered the bottom a little bit, just coated it, right? And we're going to look at it. What we want to see. This isn't about it's this many cups of this or it's this many cups of that. We put 2 packs of however much those weighed, and we're going to look. And what we want to see is the sausage as it's cooked, but then with a nice level of fat in there.
Yes.
That we're going to add flour to. How much flour? I don't know. There's going to be enough flour to absorb all of the liquid and also give it kind of a frosted look. I guess this is how I would describe it. You know, if we screw up the flour when we add the flour, maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll see. We add too much flour, say, and then we're going to add our milk, and it's going to cook for a little bit, and it's too thick. Okay, well, fix it. Add more milk.
Yeah.
You know, it's too thin. Okay, get a little flour and just get a whisk and whisk it in so you don't get some bunch of clumps. But whisk. That's all right.
Exactly.
It's not the end of the world.
No, it's not.
It's
and some of the best food that I've ever had resulted from a mistake, even though it's not really a mistake.
You learn because you learn from it.
Yes. And you stumble on things and go, oh my goodness, I never thought it was going to taste like that.
All right, so what do you think, man?
I think
more oil, less oil.
Let's just give it just a little bit more oil so that we can add a little bit of flour.
I think it's best to err on the side of more than less
absolutely.
Because I'd rather have more fat than less fat.
Yes.
Because more fat means I can add a little bit more flour and a little bit more milk and get a little bit more gravy and I'm going to get just more flavor.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So what about seasoning? We going to season this?
I don't season it until the end because the sausage has already got some seasonings in it. So I get the consistency right, and then add some garlic.
So you do it at the end.
And then a proprietary blend of nature's seasoning.
So you can see our sausage is well and cooked. And once you get to this point, you want to turn it down. Go to a low flame if you're using gas or electric on the stovetop. What you don't want to do is when you get to the point where you're adding the milk, you don't want to boil the milk because then you're going to scald the milk and it's going to. You just said it. You're going to curdle it and it's going to be nasty.
You ruin a great gravy when you do that.
So we're not measuring this. It's just kind of just put an even coating all over the whole thing. It's going to absorb all that liquid, all that fat. Then we're going to give it a stir, and then we're going to add some more until it's right, and we'll show you what right looks like.
Yeah, because I know if you don't put enough flour in it first, you're not going to get the thick consistency.
Yeah, it won't thicken. It'll never get thick. But you can still see after I stirred it, there's still plenty of liquid in there. I want you to see this thing pretty dry, frankly.
Yes.
That's how much flour.
So that's a good rule of thumb. You're trying to dry this out almost. You're trying to absorb the
because
liquid.
Let's be honest, we could say, it's a cup of flour, whatever. But even that changes. What flour are you using? How old was the flour? When was it milled? All those things kind of matter to how it's gonna perform in the pan when you go to actually cook things. And that's important to know. I think we can do more, man.
A little bit more? Okay.
Yeah. A little bit more. Definitely. I think we can go, yeah. It's easy to fix. If you do too much, it's easy to fix. It's just add a little more milk. Right? So at this point, we're trying to keep it cooking. We're trying to just cook that flour just a little bit. Yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going. So we don't want to let it sit and burn. We're not trying to burn the flour. Again, we're trying to make a kind of a blonde sauce. So
Pulling up all of the liquid out of there.
yeah, no, this is now we're, as they used to say, now we're cooking with Crisco. I mean, we're not, but people used to say that.
One more, and I think it'll be probably good. They're starting to get a little bit of white.
Yeah, you can start kind of see how it's really drying out. And
Yes.
it's got almost like there's a crust on the individual pieces of sausage. I'm just gonna, you know what? I think we can take a little bit more. Look, check this out. I'm looking at the bottom. I still see a little grease there. What we want to see, we want to add enough flour to where it's not taking flour anymore. To where it's almost like leaving a little bit of powder now, and almost dusted sort of look to the sausage. You can already see it starting to stick. I mean, you can look at that. You can see there's sort of like a crust kind of coating to it. But we're gonna. All right, yeah. Now see, if you look at the pan, now it's starting to absorb, and there's not really all that grease that's at the bottom anymore. Now it's just nice and dry. But now we're gonna add milk. I won't put enough milk just to cover everything.
Yeah. And let it cook, and then thin it until you've got the thinness.
And again, make sure I'm not too hot, because I don't want to be too hot, and which also means I can't go slow with this. I don't want to boil the milk. So I'm gonna quickly kind of come in here and add milk. We're covering it. What we're going to do is
it's going to thicken as it cooks a little bit.
Yeah, and the biggest challenge right now, and it's not really a challenge, just control your temperature. Just don't let it get really hot.
Right.
And don't boil the heck out of it. What's the difference between, if somebody's watching and looking at this, well, what's a boil and what's a simmer? Well, what are we looking for here?
A simmer will slightly bubble, but a boil is going to be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more violent.
So we're starting to see a little bit of bubbling.
Right.
That's fine.
Liquid breathing is a simmer.
That's just bare. That's a small simmer.
Yes.
Now I would like to point something out here. As I'm sitting here and stirring, it's already starting to thicken.
Yeah, you can see it.
Watch.
Now.
If we pull through, like, see how it's doing that, and how it's like that's too thick, because it's still going to thicken more.
Yes, absolutely.
So we need to adjust.
Yeah, it's taking its time getting back together.
So we need to add a little more milk, and that's how you cook. You use your senses. You watch. You adjust.
And you take your time. Some things you can do quick. You can make a bowl of cereal quickly.
Yeah.
If you're making sausage gravy, take the time a little bit. Just watch what you're doing. Stay hands-on.
I need more milk.
Hey, that's good. That's going to be more gravy for more biscuits.
Boom. Damn. Boom.
There you go. I think that's a good start.
All right, so look at this, man. This stuff's getting thick. I think we can season. So
we're going to go light. You know what? You can always add seasoning, but you can't take it out.
Yeah, no, taking it out's hard. Taking it out means add more everything else.
Absolutely. Too much work to do that. Let me get a little
You'd
bit always rather err on the side of under than over with your seasoning, and then adjust. And you know what? A good rule of thumb: keep one of these near you so that you can season, and then check this out. You taste it. Go. It could take a little more salt and pepper. So I would maybe just a little bit more of the nature seasoning.
Touch more, just a touch. You know. And then one of the other things I've found, when you taste it, if in your mouth it feels flat, like it just coats the mouth and there's a flatness, you need an acid that will open the whole thing up. And for this, I'm going to pull it out earlier, a little hot sauce.
Oh, I got you.
Most of your hot sauces are made with vinegar.
Absolutely.
Right? So that vinegar, they're acidic, and you don't need a lot, but a little bit will really just it's not going to taste like Texas Pete or whatever heck you're putting in there, right? You just need
literally a couple of drops will start to bring it together.
Yeah, and really it's almost like a base background flavor that just starts opening everything up. So you really, it's not that you're tasting Texas Pete. You can taste all the other ingredients,
Yes,
all the other flavors that are in there.
I know that whenever we make macaroni and cheese, that's another one that you put a little bit of hot sauce in to excite.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Because again, you're talking about a cream sauce, and sometimes cream sauces can be clinging, cloying to the tongue, and like I said, they mask flavor,
right,
with a kind of a heaviness. And the way to balance that, just like when you taste something, you go, no, the salt balance is not right, so you add more salt. The way you fix that clinging, heavy cream is with an acid. And you get those in balance, and you still have the richness of a dairy, but it's lightened up enough to where you can taste everything else. That's it. I mean, that's how you make gravy. All we're missing now are plates
and biscuits and a
forks, and this stuff in my belly.
Hey man, let's
cheers, brother, because this is gonna be good stuff.
make it happen.